Okay, so in this tutorial I'm just going to go through how to make some breaks and put them into battery, and how to do it in a kind of convincing way. Um, yeah, not to say that I haven't had convincing versions of it, but yeah, just showing you one way of doing it. Okay, so we've got a few breaks here. So a classic kind of Augment kind of sound. I'm going to drag and drop that into here. So first thing I'm going to notice is that double click in here, it says my segment BPM is 81. I know that not to be true. If it's like that, it's going to definitely be 162, because 81 is not the speed of jungle break. So make sure you play it through and that the speed is good. Also, what you want to make sure as well is that this is set to complex, or even better, complex pro. Right, first things first, leave that at the top. Next, we double click here, and also we're in a 1:16 aspect ratio on this grid here. So what we want to do is we want to change that by pressing Command and 2, and this will change it to a 1/8. Now you can use 1:16 if you want, but it's actually a little bit more fiddly, and yeah, I just prefer using 1/8. It kind of preserves some of the original stuff in there more so. Anyway, so I'm just gonna highlight in each one, and then once I should go over that again. So in this section here, this was highlighted like this. What you want to do is you want to click and select the first eighth of this here, and press Command and L, and this creates a loop. And then you want to copy this down, and then with each time you copy it down, you move the loop bracket one space forward, and so we're starting to collect different parts of the break. Okay, so we get to this point here. Now if you play that bit there and press Command, Shift and I, you actually get a new one that's an exact replica of the last. So it kind of duplicates it and creates a new scene. It's very useful. Okay, so what we need to do now is start. We've got halfway through, and I think that's probably enough to get the essence of the break. So I press Command and R, and this lets me rename. So if I type in kick here, because it is a kick, I've got that saved. There's a kick as well. So snap, shuffle, there's another shuffle too. Shuffle 2. Don't know, that's kind of a shuffle, I guess, as well. Shuffle 3. Oh, and again, got a lot of shuffles in there. Shuffle 4. Okay, I'm going to copy that down. Again, let's kick. Okay, I think that's fine for now. So I'm going to select the one at the top, press Shift, click down, and we've got all of that selected. Now if I click and hold it and press Tab, we now have this option here where we're into our range. So I want to drag and drop it into the audio that I've been using, which is audio 3, and I also want to click this here. Now let's zoom in, and instantly you can see that there. I want to select it and just move it over. Now once I've done that, I can just start separating it out. So they're all equal amounts, and they all, again, we're still in 1/8, so it just fits in nicely. So once we get to this point here, if we press Command, Alt and F, we get up our fades. Now you can see in the waveform here, I want to drag that over and just create these little fades at the end. You don't need to make them too long, they just need to be there just so that you don't get any spill from the beat that's in front. So I'm just going to do that there. So a few fades. And then once I've done that, I can zoom out a little bit. And I can press Command and J. And this consolidates them down with the actual fades and actually makes them not just a part of that region. As you can see here, it's just a part of that region. Once I press Command and J, it actually becomes its own audio file. So Command and J consolidates it, or kind of bounces it in place if you're more used to Logic. So once I select all of them, I can click and drag and press Tab and switch back onto the session view here and drag and drop it there. So again, you can see that that kick there has become its own file with its own fade. So that's useful for us. Now what we need to do now is go into plugins and use battery 3. I prefer battery 3 over battery 4, but it really is preference. They both do pretty much the same. But I don't know what it is about battery 3. There's something just about it that I like. Okay, so once you've got the battery open, you can start to just click and drag these into here. So let's go down, lift that down rather, and I'm just clicking and dragging them in. So you might need to create a few extra cells. So got to this point here, and this snare here I also want to create 2 more instances of. So I'm going to create one there and another there. So the first one I'm going to tune that up to 2, and the next one I'm going to tune that up to 3 semitones. So there you go. We can start to program in now. So if we double click here, and also remember to change your grid here to 1/8. I've accidentally switched that in the process of doing that, which I didn't want to do, but I can change it back to 1 bar. So this is just, now that I've double clicked and made a new clip here, this is just a 1 bar loop. So let's change this to a 4, and it's 1/8, so let's just start to put it in. So first of all, I'm just gonna put in all this in there, and then press Fold. I can get rid of that, but it's made sure that I can see all the notes that are available to me. So always make sure that your snares fall on that note and this one. So on the 2s and on the 4s. Now you can have, we've got an option of 3 different snares, so you can have that. Oh, so just before the 4 rather than actually on the 4. So that I'm actually going to do 2 at the end. Okay, so then we can just start to fill this in. Check out for that one, swap those 2 around. So there's definitely a little bit of trial and error going on here. If it's not working straight away, you've got to persist with it, change it around a little bit. So make sure in this here that that's deleted, because that's just going to interfere otherwise. Okay, so I'm at 162. Now if you want to do something, I'm tending to find that 131 is a nice option for me right now. Didn't quite have the punch, but you know, move it up a bit. So you can do things like this. You can also we can also do this where so we're at 1/8 here. We change that to 32, and then start to kind of pull our snares in a little bit and do things like this, you know. So you're kind of like, so on here, so yeah, that kind of thing. Oh. So it's doing this in a bit of a rush, but so you know, got to play around with it, see what's working for you. But I hope that explains, and I hope you'll be able to do something with this tutorial that I've just made. Any feedback is most welcome. Thanks.